There we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Headless Horsemen podcast, where we get a little headless, a little reckless, but we bring it in at the end of the day. I'm one of your co-hosts, Optimus Coxmus, joined today with
Seymour Bud.
And welcome to episode 39. We hope you guys are doing well. Sorry about last week. We had technical audio issues and everything. The wind was blowing and messing up everything, so we weren't able to put out episode 39 last week. But thank you for being patient. We hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a great February. Hope you guys enjoyed tax season.
Tax season. Get excited.
Tax season, baby. And thank you guys for joining us. And once again, thank you for showing all the love and support on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. We're definitely going in the right direction. We're at 111 plays, I think 112. Yep. 6 followers on Spotify. So keep liking everything. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, refer a friend and everything. And we'll just keep making sure we put out more content for you guys coming in each week. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our first topic today. I think the first thing we want to go ahead and get into is talk about the disaster up north with
with Milwaukee Bucks and Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers.
They won the other night though.
So let's go ahead
against the Timberwolves. So that was a team with a positive percentage. I think they're starting to figure it out because right now they beat the 76ers in the fourth quarter, but it's still 9 minutes left.
Okay.
A lot of game.
Mm-hmm.
That boy Dame has been apparently struggling just because he's been mad inconsistent.
Yeah.
I was talking to Lorenzo, our friend.
Yeah.
Who's a Bucks fan. He's like, dude, Doc Rivers, he sucks, bro. Mad inconsistent.
It's mad inconsistent.
They should have never fired Budenholzer. That's really what he's saying.
Because there was a post that was like on February 8th. It said the Bucks are 1-5 after they hired Doc Rivers. But then again, they were saying the same thing when they had the other guy. Like, they were counting how many losses, but then he turned around. I think it's just because you have a veteran head coach that's won a ring in Doc Rivers. He should be able to turn things around a lot sooner than anybody else. Right. And it seems like, for some reason, it's crazy to me how many second chances this man gets at
He's
coaching.
Still alive. He's still alive.
Inconceivable. Like, it's like, dude, like, how many chances do you get? Yeah, and it's ridiculous right now. Right now they are 4-7. 4-7 with Doc Rivers.
4-7, man.
Rivers is 4-7, matching the worst start through 11 games of his 25-year coaching career.
That's bad.
Yeah.
4-7 is unlike Doc Rivers, unless we're talking about the freaking playoff records or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, JJ Redick was going off.
Him and Draymond, weren't they saying like you knew what you signed up for?
Calls out his former coach Doc Rivers. There's never accountability with that guy, and I'm just like, that's crazy.
Do you feel like coaches aren't held accountable sometimes?
Well, sometimes because of
like players are scapegoated.
Yes, I think some do. Just because, more so than most. Like, if you're gonna get onto anybody.
Mm-hmm.
More likely they're going to start with the players first before they work their way up,
right.
Versus working their way down. And to me, when I see that kind of stuff, it's like, dude, you've had all of this potential. Like, if he would have did more with LA, I think he would have more water under the bridge where people want to come after him.
Right.
But it's like, because he beat Kobe one time, it's like he's like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
He can do no wrong.
Yeah.
And my problem is, honestly,
was that 2008?
2008, yeah. And it's like, it's been what,
Jesus.
17 years since you've been to the finals?
Yeah, like 16 years.
Yeah.
Like that.
He couldn't get past.
Jesus.
So you beat Kobe on the biggest stage, but you can't beat him on like a second semi-biggest stage in the Western Conference Finals?
And then he's had an even arguably more talented team
than the Boston Celtics team. When they had Lob City, all those players on there, or even now, when they had Kawhi Leonard.
They had, who else? They had Bobby Shmurda on the bench, man.
Reggie Jackson, basically the best six. God, he's such an animal.
A crazy team.
Yeah.
Dang, man. Doc Rivers has just done so much.
Yeah.
He's done so less with so much. He's like the Ryan Day. Well, they're both the same coach in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned. Ryan Day, this is random. Ryan Day's make or break year is this year too. But
well, no, I think he's out. I think he's gone from
They went all in. Ohio State did with NIL.
No, but he's not coaching there. I don't think he's still the head coach there? Oh,
Yeah,
no,
man.
no, no,
I
no.
think they signed somebody's offensive coordinator. I forgot who.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. So we'll tie some of this in here. So
But he's done
this is
so
probably
much.
one of the biggest things that I do believe. There hasn't been accountability on Doc Rivers' part to not be able to make adjustments.
Yeah,
And,
that's the truth. That's that. You're right about that.
and I didn't get to watch any game footage this week because I was cracking like 45, 50 hours this week at work.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not surprised that his style, like, if you were to place Rajon Rondo on any other team or Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, Ray Allen,
Mm-hmm.
I think they still would have won that championship.
Yeah.
I genuinely do.
Yeah.
You know, you just had so much talent on that floor. There was no way that they weren't going to win a championship.
That could have been a dynasty.
Exactly. You know, and my thing is they could have won with any other team, in my opinion, because a lot of those adjustments, it's like, I as a coach, I don't think I could take that much pride in beating LeBron in those early Cleveland days.
No, because he was still trying to figure it out.
Well, no, but they were almost getting beat by a one-man show, and you're taking accountability because we broke him. It's like, dude, it took 4 of you. Let that sink in, 4 of you.
4 dudes to jump in.
And now when we see this, right? Now when we see Doc Rivers go into a different environment with the LA Clippers, can't get it done.
Yeah.
And arguably just as talented point guard in Chris Paul, right? Talented 6 men coming off 6 men. Lou Will and Jamal Crawford.
Yep.
Both who are 2-time 6 men of the year.
Didn't they have Beverly off the bench too?
Yes, and you had Chauncey Billups, who was a Finals MVP and won the part of that Detroit Pistons team.
Man.
And then you got to think Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin was still DeAndre Jordan. JJ Redick, who was still a great 3-point shooter in his own right. And you're telling me with that team loaded off and offensively and defensively, you couldn't win a ring? Not one?
Redick, man, that's crazy. You don't win with somebody like that.
And then the next thing is like, okay, the next wave of LA. Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, arguably probably the greatest talent that he's probably ever coached.
Man.
With Kawhi Leonard having, 3 rings, multiple finals MVPs.
Disgusting.
Probably one of the best two-way players that we will ever see in the league. Right? Him, Paul George, you get a Reggie Jackson coming off the bench. I think Lou Williams was still there. You had a 6-man in Montrezl Harrell.
Yep. Oh man, bro, Montrezl Harrell was a rebound machine too, bro.
I'm trying to think.
Zubac was their big man.
Zubac is still a decent big man.
He's not a bad defender for sure.
And then you're still not able to get over the hump. Mm-mm. Now let's get you to even a more talented team, or just as arguably another talented team, with the Bucks.
Yep.
With Damian Lillard, who's considered probably the second greatest shooter of all time, if we want to be honest, from the level of difficulty of 3-point shots that he had to make for his career. Then you have another talented person in Giannis.
And
Middleton. Robert Lopez brothers. I mean, there was so much talent around that team. It's insane to me that they didn't do what they needed to do. And you want to sit here and say that, what did he say? So after the Milwaukee Bucks replaced Adrian Griffin with Doc Rivers, despite a 30-13 start to their season, because they believed a change was needed to meaningfully compete for a championship, the early results have been less than inspiring. On Thursday, Rivers coached his 10th game for the Bucks, and it was perhaps the worst one yet, a loss to the lowly Memphis Grizzlies.
With no Ja Morant either, isn't he injured?
Yeah, and so when the NBA All-Star break was approaching, Rivers didn't mince words after Thursday's defeat. We had some guys here, Rivers said. We had some guys in Cabo. Such comments won't exactly ingratiate Rivers to his new players, especially since he has a bit of history of deflecting blame when things go wrong. Last year, he made waves for saying in hindsight that his Clippers team was never going to win a championship because they just didn't get along well enough as a group, which his former shooting guard J.J. Redick took an opportunity to remind people that Rivers was hard to make sure that they would. In 2022, he gave a lengthy quote in which he attempted to explain each of his 3 blown 3-1 playoff leads instead of accepting his part of the blame for them. So, Rivers inherited a difficult situation. No coach has ever come into an organization from outside in the middle of a season and gone on to win the season's championship. Those are clearly expectations of Milwaukee. The offense under Rivers has sputtered due largely to poor shooting luck. Still, the defense has ranked 12th under his stewardship, which is probably right around where Milwaukee needs to contend for the title if its high-powered offense is functioning as expected. The overall picture isn't as bad as the record. Hold on, I think J.J. Redick has something else to say. J.J. Redick does not want to hear any more excuses from recently installed Doc Rivers.
Tell him. Shut the fuck up, Doc.
Rivers said taking over the Bucs job has been probably more difficult than I thought. Okay, hold on. I'm going to save my thoughts. Let me finish reading. I've seen the trend, but Redick was fed up with hearing the excuses. I've seen the trend for years. The trend is always making excuses, said Redick, who played under Rivers for 4 years. When they were both with the Clippers, Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard, just like getting traded in the middle of the season is hard for a player. We get it. But it's always an excuse. It's always throwing your team under the bus. So after that loss to the Grizzlies, Rivers said, we had some guys here. We had some guys in Cabo, as I mentioned earlier. And then they said Redick said they lost to Memphis. Oh, it's his players' fault, Redick said. Memphis was playing G League guys and two-way guys. Redick ended his rant by calling out Rivers' comments after he said the Clippers consulted him before making the blockbuster trade that landed them James Harden from the Philadelphia 76ers. Then you look at his quotes over the weekend. Now he wants to take credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers working out, Redick said. He wants credit for that. There's never accountability with that guy. So
we must stay focused.
So, did you have any comments to say about that first?
About Doc Rivers and the J.J. Redick thing?
Yeah.
You know, it's serious when J.J. Redick is sitting there calling Doc Rivers out saying that there's a trend with this guy. That's a problem. When your old players are coming out speaking against you, clearly they know something. Because they know what's said in that locker room between what we see on ESPN and what's cut out and all the audio and all the film and all that. So for them to be able to get on camera and say, yeah, we've noticed this before, there's a common trend, this, that, and the third, that speaks volumes about Doc Rivers and his coaching style.
Yeah.
Which quite frankly this man needs to be stopped. Doc, I don't know if you lying on your job interviews. I don't know what you're doing to get these jobs, but this is absurd. You're costing fan bases money. We already know the Bucs are probably going to be a first round exit. They'll probably lose. I don't know who look at the East. Can we see the standings in the East?
Yeah. J-Mo, pull up the standings.
J-Mo.
Yeah. So you said the East. Okay. NBA conf standings.
Yeah, we'll see.
So right now in the Eastern Conference, Celtics is 1, Cavs 2, Bucks is 3, Knicks is 4, 76ers 5th. Yeah, that's all really matters.
They would probably lose to like the Pacers or the Magic.
Top 8 is it top? It's top 8, right?
I think so.
So if they were to go right now, yeah, they would play the they would play the Magic, Orlando Magic,
the young cats.
Orlando
they
Magic,
might get a pass.
Orlando Magic.
They might get a pass there, but then we say they advance on. They're gonna have to play an even tougher team than that.
Well, they probably have to play who wins between the 4th and the 5th, and you're probably gonna have to play the Knicks or the Sixers.
Yeah, Knicks or the Sixers.
Yeah.
Yikes! I mean, no, I'll take my chances with the Sixers over the freaking Knicks. Just because if Joel Embiid's injured, that's the whole team.
Yeah,
Tyrese
basically.
Maxey, he'll score 30 or 40, but after that, nobody else really.
There's nothing else you can do.
Yeah.
See, my problem is this.
So Doc Rivers might have a little cherry pick.
That would be insane if he was able to get those. We've mentioned before on the podcast, and we played these pieces, and we may have to just rebuild those old clips where we talked about his blown 3-1 leads.
Yeah.
But the amount of times he's blown 3-1 leads in the playoffs, and you blow them, and you have no answer when they crucify you. The media crucifies you, which they should have done in the beginning, about your ability not to take accountability. Who wants to be under a coach like that? And then your excuse coming in here is like, it's hard when it's mid-season and we got to do this and we got to do that, Look, dude, this guy had a winning season before you came on, and you're talking about like you're having to start from ground zero. You're starting ground from like 50% because the coach, Adrian, came in and turned things around when nobody else believed he could because he was in the shadow of Budenhauser, who won an NBA championship and had multiple finals appearances. You should be able to take over. I'm not saying it's not hard, and I understand that it's not hard, but to sit up there and not say the offense that I called tonight was not it, and we're still trying to figure out some stuff, that's okay. That's okay to say that. You can say that and people will understand that. But you want to sit up here and just keep lying? Just keep lying about who you are and what you can do. It really shows the fact that some of these coaches are just blessed to have great athletes because they couldn't do it with any other team. They have no ability to adjust. They have no ability to make changes. And quite frankly, what team wants to go out and play for a coach that does not have the ability to take accountability? No, nobody wants to play for that type of guy. And I wouldn't be surprised when you're saying we had people in Cabo, we had guys here, we had some guys not here. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised when they say we don't want to play for you anymore. So, going forward, this sounds like the Bucks knew who they hired. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
The Bucks knew who they
they're
hired.
acting
Here.
like they hired some fucking Hall of Fame.
Well, they can't even pull the victim card because number one, Doc pulled it first, and number two, it's like he who has the money makes the rules. You had the money. You could have stepped with Adrian and toughed it out.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches can't even get 1 year, which is insane. And then you want to turn around and do that. So no, I think the Bucks are going to implode, and I feel bad for Damian Lillard because he only has probably about 4 or 5 years of him being at the top of where he is before things start going downhill, and he may have to accept a 6-man role.
Right.
His best bet was trying to get to the Heat.
That's just absurd, man.
But we see what we're seeing. So we want to go ahead and move on to the next topic.
But first, we'd like to say after all the Bucks, this is valid criticism, man. Like this is fair criticism. We've seen a common trend here, like Eljo was saying, it's unacceptable. So, till then, we'll get back to our next topic, which is ding 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 ding.
Are we chopping or?
Yeah, we're chopping.
Oh, all right. We'll go ahead and stop it. All right. Fire it up, number 2. Here we go.